Listen, hopefully everybody at home, you guys enjoyed that performance with the back-to-back bar songs. I mean, that was really, really freaking cool. On the first day of DreamHack, no less.
The song's so nice, I had to hear it twice.
Bang.
I guarantee you that Shift was thinking the exact same line.
100% I was. Dad jokes.
All right, folks, welcome back to the SPS stage here. We had a little bit of an intermission there so you could enjoy a performance there on behalf of Shabuzi. That was really cool. Now it's time for us to finish out our matches. We have 3 more matches in store for you here tonight. 2 of those will be running on B and C streams if you want to keep up with them as well as the final match of the day here back on our main stage. So this has been an action-packed day, to be sure. Last matchup here, more teams will be dropping out by the end of these last 3 matches, and of course we'll finalize who is in our bracket shift. So this is a big deal.
Oh, big time. I think the thing on top of that is we're also going to get a little bit of flex towards which region is most represented, which is always a fun conversation, especially going after last year where the West was severely underrepresented compared to what the expectations were. So now it's all about, are we actually going to see a full Chinese representation? Will India be able to get both teams there? Lots of things on the line as our last couple of matches start to come through.
You can see this bracket here as we take one more final look at it to determine those 6th, 7th, and 8th seeds, which will be our last 3 matches, like I mentioned here, running on all of our streams simultaneously. We've had a really exciting day so far, so should be really cool to see what the last few squads are. But to kick off the day, it was X-Rock and Elevate, who had just an insanely strong performance at the top of the table. Moving on through, we saw some expected results there with the likes of Q9 also finding a spot. So overall, it's been a pretty exciting day, but with a lot of results at the end of it all, teams making their way through the bracket that we would have thought would have been there.
Yeah, the expectations have largely hit. There hasn't been anyone who's qualified yet that you look at and say, whoa, where do they come from? It's kind of like how we had from GodLike last year. Stalwart, maybe you throw them into the conversation because they qualified a little bit easier than maybe they would have expected to, but still, I expected them to be in the top 8. So now it's just down to who are the final 3 teams to make it out of this 2-2 matchup. Like we mentioned, you've got a chance for Wolves to have all 3 Chinese teams make it. You've got Vitality and GodLike still trying to fight their way in to get both Indian teams there. And of course, you still have teams like Tribe trying to fight their way in as well to get 2 North American squads in the mix.
Yeah, we also have Latin America still fighting along for the representation in the single elimination bracket. Europe is unfortunately dealt with, but both Garena teams making it to the bracket as well is a breath of fresh air, especially with what did transpire at CDSI. It is very nice to see.
Well, we've got a banger of a match to close out the day here on the main stage. Excited to start talking about it, so let's just do that. We've got Vitality up there, and we have Wolves. We'll start talking about Vitality, though, because they have had an interesting day so far, to say the least here, Proper.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and start this entire conversation that it feels very strange that we're about to have a single elimination bracket, a championship bracket, with either of these 2 teams not making it. For one, Vitality is the quote-unquote team, the super team, if you will, that was created to deal with teams like Wolves. The shortcomings for a lot of these players at last World Championships have not all matched up. They took over the Indian region, sure, but even at CDSI, not exactly happy with the results.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think the thing about it for Team Vitality is that they had a really poor start, losing both of their group play matches to Standpoint and then to Elevate, who didn't look as convincing as they did on the final day. So there were moments that we were just like, what the heck was the point of doing this whole movement thing if you're not going to win your region, or at least convincingly, and then you're going to go to CSI and fall short? Now, the good news was they did find a way to 3-0 Q9. That kind of changed, I think, a lot of the momentum and of just the kind of continuity that we talk about with this Vitality squad. But after a tough day today, dealing with a little bit of, grudge matchness with Tribe, where some issues come through, they don't quite finalize out the match. Now you have a chance to fight against another strong Chinese team trying to make it to the bracket.
Potentially a chip on the shoulder of Team Vitality, but they have to go up against the defending champs in Wolves, and we've talked about them quite a lot throughout the day.
It's hard not to, right? I mean, when you walk in as the 2023 champion, typically when you don't make any roster changes and you're playing underneath the same banner, you have a target on your back walking into this venue, that's for sure. But have had a very interesting day, I will say that much. I mean, their biggest test obviously going up against X-Rock, that was what everything we were expecting to have happen. They have been competing against each other for quite some time. But then the loss versus Luminosity, that's the interesting one for Wolves and why they find themselves down here. Something is not right. Search and Destroy has always been a baffling map number 2 for these guys, but for maps 1 and 3, you just feel like they should have been better in that matchup versus Luminosity.
Yeah, this map pool is an interesting one because these two teams did meet at CDSI. Wolves were the team that shut down Vitality's run. It was a 4-2 count where, again, the respawns were a bit split, but the Search and Destroys were pretty darn convincing for Wolves overall. So that's where I think where the interesting moniker is. Plus, also on top of that, you're dealing with a map pool that is unique from the last time that they had met. None of these maps were played in their first matchup at CDSI.
All right, well, this is the last match here on the main stage. Let us know your thoughts in chat. Who you think's gonna be taking this spot away? Will it be Team Vitality making their way through to the bracket stage, or will it be the defending champions in Wolves? We are moments away from finding out, so let's close out day 1.
One team could go on, one team will have to go home. Team Vitality built to make it to the playoffs, but Wolves, the defending champions, trying to at least continue the run to defend their stage and defend their crown. Hacienda Hardpoint, best of 3. That's all we get. And we're going to kick things right off into the mix. Let's get it on.
I love the Hacienda pick coming through for this map number 1. It's nice to be able to see where these two teams are at after playing so much Call of Duty Mobile all day long. These guys have gone the distance as far as the day is concerned. 5th best of 3 on the day. Someone's going home, someone's making it to the championship bracket.
And I will say, for Wolves, in their region and as well as CDSI, this map was not all that well rehearsed, but they did play it to open their day versus Diavolos, and they did find a victory. Whereas for Team Vitality, this has been one of their staple map selections. They're 2-0 on it on the day, beating 4MV and Tribe, most notably. So looking to try to continue on, but it is Wolves starting things off hot, up to a 23-1 lead. Bounce back moment here for Vitality as Tech starts to get things cooking off 3 in a row.
And this is where the recipe of this Team Vitality being created needs to find success. They all have their jobs, as long as they execute it. It is a very difficult team to try to deal with, no matter how good you are individually. Still time being soaked up here for Wolves as far as P1 is concerned. But you start thinking about that rotation over towards P2. And yeah, Wolves do have players on that side of the map. But watch out for player number 2. Marvel's already thinking about sneaking into the garage.
Yeah, and you got fence spawns as well for Team Vitality, so they're able to surprise the players in lobby. That will stabilize the upcoming hill, at least in certain regards for Team Vitality. Zai from the front already has an EMP charged up. He'll pop that now. First kill, still good though for Vitality on the hoe. Smoke right in the front door. Peg trying to make his way around the back, good for the first. Solo just trying to finesse as best as he possibly can and finds the player a bit stray outside, but the problem is the spawns have been flipped, and now it's just down to Tech from inside the hill. Help from Sam's nearby as the War Machine gets popped.
Immediate invested here for Tech, able to find himself too. Is that the entry though? The follow-up is there with the nade out of Jokos, but still more presence on the map as Zai returns the investment coming through with the claw. There is one elephant in the room through 2 hard points thus far, and Zai is up to 15 freaking eliminations.
Yeah, he has been a monster to start things off, but with that told, it has not been enough for Wolves to fully break through this setup. A chaotic set of spawns for both these two teams, but better held by Team Vitality, who all of a sudden go 3 for 1 in the feed, and now they've got a bit of an opportunity to rotate over to New. This has been a flawless start for Team Vitality considering the opening.
And this is the normality. This is the time. P3 is when you're going to start seeing a lot of these operators actually come online. Tech and Zai both invested theirs in the previous hill because of how much slaying they're able to find thus far. But you look at the mini-map, the rotation is already here for Team Vitality. This is a very good setup for them should they be able to win the opening engagements.
Shots exchanged backside fences. Tech still holding on. Odin in hand. Peg off a bit of a pinch. Sloppy. He's been dealt and pushed back. Wolves now trying to reinforce with a couple of spawners that are nearby, but they aren't convincing enough to hold. Gravity Vortex gun locks Shing in towards backside 10. Patio control good for Vitality, but not making much use of it as of yet, as now Wolves are trying to reinforce from the front.
So have these close spawns to be dealing with a lot of utility, just hitting players as soon as they try to enter inside of the garden. But contested time is still good time for Team Vitality. Zai's going to be able to at least double down, but traded inevitably. A late Sparrow comes through. And a War Machine at the end of this 15 seconds. Is this worth it to be spending 2 operators?
That's kind of what my reaction is all about here, because Vitality are starting to flood back through and at least 50-50 contest that scrap time and have good early motion over to rotation to New. Neon taking himself out of the picture. Tech playing deep towards Lambo. This is great separation of the map for Vitality. They can contest Wolves on their exit from 3 and, of course, soak up early time here in the 4th.
Jokos actually gets a pretty rogue spawn over by you. will end up getting snuffed out, but that kind of delays the hit coming through. And the way that the setup is working as the 3 operators get popped for Team Vitality is that they are hurting them into these narrow choke points.
Yeah, Equalizer on one side, Purifier on the other. The Equalizer only finding one, and the War Machine is also popped as a part of this. This is expensive for Team Vitality. Shake trying to get the Annihilator out, trying to surprise from the jump wall. Not gonna happen as Sam's lights things up around the back. Peg trying to find an entry through the open stairs, not only to do more than just the first elimination. Tech realizing there's pressure from the front. Joko says, I got you. Sparrow out. Pred Missile called in. That's going to work out, but Wolves survive through it, and they have a chance to contest the last 18.
This 1v1 across 2 powerhouse individuals of Zai and Tech has been a spectacle to watch. At the end of the first set of hard points, it will be a good lead for Team Vitality. All off of just really good recognition on where they are in conjunction to the map. 3 operators get popped over by P3. Screw it. Let's just rotate over towards P4 and just get the majority of time there. 1-10-7 as we go to 1 again.
Good first set of hard points for Team Vitality, but Wolves finding a couple of good exit kills, have a chance to rotate from old to new very quickly. Decent battle back from Vitality as the spawns start to stabilize just a touch. Wolves on the left-hand side of the map. Vitality on the right as the Claw. This is a bold call for the Claw, but Zai makes great use of it, finding 2, make that 3 inside the hill, and all of his focus is all about trying to find who else wants to try to contest the higher ground.
I actually really do like this call for Zai to be able to pull the Claw out, because, I mean, should it have gone correctly, because he is off-centered with the rest of his teammates on getting those charges online for his fantastic start. It does open up the floodgates if it did go correctly, but Team Vitality just realizing the letter in the room, read it perfectly, wait for the respawns, recontest together, get high ground.
Yeah, Marvel, he's had a really solid map to this point as well. Say that, he gets overwhelmed by just too many members down low. Solo just yeets himself into the hard point. That gets turned aside, and now Vitality are struggling just to get themselves in a position around P2, while Wolves will counteract a lot of that early presence that Vitality had with the scrap time here in the first hill.
And a lot of that, it was the Claw. It did diminish the lead ever so slightly. Now it's 118-95, but from the previous spawns, all of Team Vitality were around the front of the mansion, but look at just the speed that Wolves are trying to cut the distance.
Gravity Vortex gun thrown over towards the trophy side. That's going to do well. It does spend all of it quickly, though, so Marvel may not have found the value that he wanted to. Means that Tech has to go to the War Machine. He's already found 1. Not able to get much more with it, though. So all of a sudden, Wolves spawning close, surviving through. Now they've got a War Machine of their own. Neon's able to use that for an opener. Neon also realizing there could be some sort of a split spawn behind him, and that's enough for Zai to be the one to move from the front, and Wolves will find their break.
Still plenty of time to soak up here. It would tie up the game. Team Vitality have a decision to make. Do we try to rotate towards New, or do we just try to break for the old time? Seems that they want to go for the latter, and the trades are actually going in favor of Wolves. Pinstripe kill feed, but the Sparrow there for Jing will find 2 more eliminations, and look where Team Vitality are spawning. They're forced to hit the roll.
Not what you want here for Team Vitality. Sam's able to find 1 through the exit. The rest of his teammates are going to take the route over towards New. Peg in their way. Able to deal a lot of damage, but doesn't actually tally a kill. So now Vitality will get the rotation win defenses. It will be essentially a dead tie game, though. So now it's just down to Team Vitality. How much further forward do they push? Can they get spawn control as well as this hill as soon as the lock opens?
Look at the spawn coming through for Solo. He was actually working up a really nasty pinch. Actually goes 1 for 1, but Peg's there to be able to find the second. And the team for Wolves is just on janitorial duty, but the spawns are not too far away for Team Vitality.
Peg, a little bit of trouble. Equalizer, only able to find 1 with it. Solo right behind, has equalizers of his own. Reads the threat over towards Archway, but instead tries to take it the old-fashioned way. That won't necessarily work out, but Vitality off the spawn can still try to find a way to battle. Sam's Purifier, holding into a corner, looking for the proper time. Gets 1. How about 2? Not going to quite get to the 3 to the 4. Shout out Shabuzi there, as Vitality will hold a narrow lead, and Wolves still trying to fight around the back and spawn split.
The pressure from Vitality, I mean, they feel like they have to continuously invest into this just for about 12 seconds. This is where Wolves need to try to rectify where the end of this last hardpoint went awry. Luckily enough for them, I suppose you don't have enough operators to expunge in this situation. Team Vitality, again, playing for the future, already cutting across the middle of the map, but they do have pretty wayward spawns on the north side of the mansion, so you have players that are lurking around the rocks where P4 is, but it's going to be a 2v2 for the initial time.
Oh, Neon, that is filthy! He's going to find himself 3. I was about to say Wolves may just have to be resorted to try to play through topside middle, but Neon has completely foiled that plan. He He's off 4. May very well get the full wipe, and yeah, he's on now 5 in a row. War Machine earned Pred Missile called in.
Breeds the player from the Pred Missile, trying to get a little hop up over by the water. Marvel not sneaky enough, and now the investment from the Claw, and then also coming through from the War Machine. Neon is on an absolute tear, is able to find 2 more to his spree.
Oh, absolutely filthy stuff. EMP going to be spent. Neon shut down though. Vitality battling back. Clawing their way back into the hard point. 3 straight eliminations, but Wolves off the reset. Right back in, contesting, keeping this at a 20-point deficit. Joko's holding down the trigger, nearly deals with everyone, but Wolves again, there's too many numbers to deal with, and they will see this lead continue to stay at the 20-point threshold.
Up to 36 eliminations now is Zai. King has caught up to him at 29 and 41 kills out of tech. It's a 21-point game as Wolves were able to flip there at the end of P4 from a great break and an even better spree coming through from Neon. Need a little bit of that going in towards the P1. Remember, it was the Claw the difference the last time around. Don't have that option.
Tech off 2 in a row. Player on the jump up, dealt with. Marvel desperate with the gravity vortex. Angel tally 2 with it. That will allow Vitality to chip into this lead pretty convincingly here. Right on top of the first hard point, they found some good time. Wolves will try to find a way to battle through the smoke. Marvel just trying to find somebody, and he will. He gets another couple of eliminations, and that's at least enough to keep Wolves at least somewhat restricted towards how much time they're getting here.
Again, Team Vitality not having good spawns, but they're doing a great job at least keeping things contested. 20 seconds still left to fight over here, and all of Vitality do have numbers off of Sam's being able to find a double kill, but do not count out the Wolves. They are a pack animal. There's always more around the corner, but the trade's that much better out of Vitality, and look at the opportunity they have for themselves. A rotation towards New is on the boat.
And they could do this through water side. That's exactly what's going through. It's open stairs to the front. Wolves trying to play around, spiral in towards mid-lobby. Sam's dealing with this on the exit. This is really good. He gets out of a natural pinch off of this. And Joko's by himself with the Sparrow, finds a couple, but you almost wish he waited a second longer for this. An extra little bit of help out of the War Machine. Wolves trying to hold on to the driveway spawn. Keep Ryan, number 2 in yellow. It's a big flank coming through. Sam's pitches from the front. Vitality gets the break.
Still have those close spawns. Wolves still hanging around over by the Zig staircase as well. They have things to invest as well. The equalizer gets popped, immediately dealt with out of Tech, who is on an absolute rampage. Up to 51 eliminations. Might as well just do it yourself. Has assistance there for Solo, but Team Vitality are in.
Wolves trying to break through the old time. 198 to 178. Peg trying to find some sort of an entry on the pitch, but he's been held back. The hit from the front, finding more success though. Shing gets a double. Same can be said for Neon. And this is just down to Joko trying to hold his life as long as humanly possible. Not going to happen. The scrap time looking good for Wolves, but Vitality spawning behind. They have to play through all to get to do.
They sure do. Just fighting for these 10 seconds. It's going to make their lead grow, but they don't have the rotation early. One player will actually be here. You got to be prepared for this. Neon, as of late, has been pretty difficult kill on the map.
Yeah.
And Solo's just not even going to fully check the corner. Now Neon can pounce.
Nice response, though, from Tech. Still keeping the hot hand up. Only Solo has an operator for Vitality, down 40 points. Spawns are good, though, for the team in yellow. Marvel up top. He needs to get active. He needs to try to get this top manual control, and he just doesn't have the angle for it. How about it? Wolves from the front find every single elimination with a chance to win here.
Looking for it. Pulling out the Annihilator is King, trying to call themselves that game. You do have an operator available, but it's Solo with the equalizer, just trying to finesse his life.
He's able to clear out the backside of Wine. Help from the front is good. Smokes will start to fade, though. Neon getting to work on the clearance. Oh, that was insane. Solo just hops the War Machine frag, and now he's on top of barrels himself. Still dealing with the number of Wolf numbers around the back. Vitality are hanging on from the front, and we're going to see likely another hard point if this continues.
No operators online. This is going to be a raw push, at least for the rotation. We've got a couple players trying to work a pinch all the way through. You Wolves want this 8 seconds. The overinvestment might just come back to bite them in the rear, depending where Vitality spawn.
That's indeed the case. They're going to spawn backside fences towards the front at well. Shing will be the first one here. Help on the way. 209, 236. Tech had pulled the War Machine early and it gets shut down. Has to be a hit through open stairs. Nades are perfect from Shing. Do they get a read on this hit coming from the side, though? They got to hold on the last 10 seconds. Here comes the hit from Vitality. Patience certainly needs to be there to make sure this hit is successful. Sam's gets the opening too, but Neon, oh, the MVP from last year comes up big. Allows Wolves a chance to reinforce. Zai over the top, shut down, and Vitality will hang on for the contest.
So hanging on, but off of these respawns means more reinforcements, means more nades, means more kills to have for yourself as Neon walks back in for 2.
Still the contest alive, 243 to 212. Gotta keep stringing on forward, and Shing putting them out of commission. Last couple of kills needed, but Jokos somehow finds the double. Head behind it, trying to follow up for 2. Not gonna happen. Team Vitality have numbers. Wolves have a chance to hold and play a little bit more passively, but Sam's doesn't allow them to. The Purifier pushes them out, and keep your eye on the rotation. Wolves are gonna be outside of P1. We're gonna get a 50-50 battle for New.
You gotta go New. It's still 4 seconds left inside the Hardpoint. Wolves have broken on in. Do they get the take? It'll be close. The contest, though, comes all the way through. You have to get in towards the center of the map. Team Vitality need to be perfect.
Oh, and Tech is holding down the open stairs. That's the exact guy you want. Solo up towards Patio, finding more eliminations. It's at 249. Surely Vitality don't do this, and no, they will not. A close moment, but Wolves, the lead too large. Find the map 1 winner.
Ooh, I thought the concert from Shabuzi was lit. That map number 1 felt like the beginning of the grand finals. That was insane. That's what you do expect off of 2 global phenomenons. That is Wolves and Team Vitality. Team Vitality with a massive lead. At one point, it was somewhere near about 70 points.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, that Wolves regain in the moment. They have a really good end of the first set of Hardpoints, and the Neon finds a different level of stride. I mean, when you look at the KD ratios at the end for all the stat screen, Tech went just giga mode.
Yeah.
But the entire team of Wolves did exactly what won them the World Championship just last year, and that is rely on their teamwork, being able to set up these wonderful pinches, exactly how that map ended up finishing out for ourselves from 4 going into 1 again.
And I think the other part about this is you could look over the breakdown if you really wanted to dig into the stats. How much time did Wolves sign on the first Hardpoint?
Yeah.
A lot. They were in the mix early and then often beyond just the first hill. Also, a couple of really tight moments on this Lambo Hardpoint in particular, where you had maybe a couple of Vitality members that overextended or just kind of hit the go call before the team was ready. Again, we're dealing with really small margins.
Sure.
So, a hell of a first map. And again, this is just a best of 3. Loser doesn't get a chance to play in the playoffs, friends.
Which is just insane. Again, I hate to bring this home one more time. It's insane to think that we will not get one of these 2 teams in a championship bracket. 61 in 34 for a minute and 40 of OBJ time out of Tech was not enough. Again, it started off as a 1v1, a kill race almost, it felt like, between Zai and Tech, but Zai got a lot more assistance and a lot more consistent assistance as the game produced, as Neon just 41, 50, 25 assists, but the minute 22 seconds of hardpoint time is really where Neon did step up in a massive way.
It was in that 2nd to 3rd rotation of hills that we really saw Neon come back to life. But 61 for the L.
That's tough.
8,300 score.
That's tough.
Not often we bring up score because why would you? But that's
a big number.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's a pretty big number, man.
Unreal stuff. Doesn't matter for much though, as now we have to somehow take a breath and make our way into a firing range search and destroy. Now keep in mind, as much as I think we all look at the Chinese region and say search and destroy is their best mode, that has not historically been the case for Wolves this year. It's actually been their weakest mode overall. They have been more of a respawn dominant team in China. Yeah. So if there were to be an opportunity to square up against a Chinese team, have to win a search and destroy, you would prefer it to be Wolves, and you may even prefer it to be in firing range because they love his press.
Yeah, they absolutely do. It's just one of those things that Wolves, even talking about them last year, from last year's CDSI going into Worlds, it's the same conversation we had from CDSI going in towards this Worlds as well, is that their S&D is just not up to par compared to the rest of the region.
Well, this is just one match of 3 that are going on right now for the battle for the final spots in the playoffs. This is what? The result from the standoff hardpoint between GodLike and Tribe. 51 and 12 from a beast. Shut the front door.
Oh, I mean, that's a great number. It's a great KD ratio. Barely died. 12 deaths is insane. But I'm looking at the combined 28 kills between Vague and Washi. And that is just so uncharacteristic. I mean, even when we had him on stage, his Tribe just do not look composed. Look at even like the hardpoint time, the assists are, at least marginal, but what this scoreline does speak out to me is that GodLike just completely spawned in and just ran over everything Tribe attempted to put together.
41?
Yeah.
Are we joking?
Yeah, no.
Here's a look at some of the highlights from it. It's going to be the Abiz montage show, I would imagine. You go 51 and 12, you deserve to just go ahead and clip it. It's just that's an easy job for a replay operator. Find the Abiz and hit go.
Yeah, add some rock music behind this, some crossfades. You got yourself some wonderful little montage being put together here. As and again, we had this conversation earlier about GodLike when we had them on screen for us. Is that we generally feel like that they are just right there. They've constantly been right there, moments away from having a winning position to be able to win Worlds just last year. Moments away from winning another series that we saw earlier today. This team has just about everything but the chip itself. And they just put Tribe on absolute blast. A 50-point club for a qualification elimination match? Golly.
Yeah. Not good for a Tribe fan.
No.
But let's get back into the action here. Search and destroy, as we mentioned, on firing range to come up. And if we do see a map 3, gloves are off. We got Seaside.
Yeah.
Who spawned traps better? That's where we're at.
If it's not right, well, even though every single control map is actually not far from that conversation. But it's interesting just talking about Search and Destroy in particular for these two teams. You know, going off the narrative that they actually played each other not too long ago, and the Search and Destroys, surprisingly, both went towards Wolves. So
yeah,
I think that that's something that you have to be alarmed about if you are Team Vitality, but you shouldn't be utterly concerned. That map number 1 should have been your win. You got to come in here and play your game. This is where composure means everything.
You also got to keep in mind they did not play this map.
Correct.
And on the day so far, this Vitality team is 2-0. Now, granted, they played Ancient and they played Tribe.
What are you trying to say, man?
Trying to say that those are the most quality of opponents.
Okay.
There's no fluff there.
I wasn't trying to put you on blast. I was just curious myself. Sometimes you're a little too sarcastic. I don't get it.
No, very straightforward right now.
Okie dokie.
All right, here we go. Vitality on the defense. Wolves offensively stacked up at wood at the moment. Just not trying to give away too much off these opening nades over towards A. They're cooking up nades for trailer. I don't believe those hit, though, as there is a double stack of defensive Vitality members staying pretty calm there.
That nade that actually just came through for Jokos. Look at how quickly he hightailed out of that B site. He got that connection. He wanted no part.
They're going to play retake here.
Yep.
And they know it. Here come the nades towards backside trailer. You would assume that if this hits or even if it doesn't, Vitality should be trying to push through this. But instead, Tech says, I've got B from mid sandbags. And whoa, Neon nearly tilts the efforts of Wolves pretty convincingly towards their favor. Bomb plant coming down. Whoa, how about this play through backside container? This is working out. Vitality able to punish a couple of overextensions from Wolves. And now it's really just on the Neon to see what they can do through mid-map, which is nothing. How that divulged, couldn't tell you.
Don't need a retake if everybody just walks inside your crosshairs and your double shot works.
Pardon
Nice
me.
shot out of King.
And he's got a Fennec.
Oh,
what?
My.
No. Tech, please.
Do not chow.
Do not challenge.
Get together.
40 seconds. And King will get some space to work with. And I'm not going to lie, he's bamboozled the last two members for Vitality. They didn't think he's at A.
Solo just ran an entire lap all the way through the B site, all the way back up through jungle. Bomb has now been recovered and will be planted at B, I'm sure.
Yeah. Solo Tech making their move over. King not going to commit yet, just wants to put this in the right spot. He's going to play this for backside truck. Solo holding for now. Oh. And uh-oh, we got some split decision here. It looked like for a moment Tech was saying, come join me through mid. And, nope, never mind. It's a debate of what's happening. King, good proactive Chally. He's got the second!
Oh.
A 1v4 for King!
Not over yet.
No, not like that.
Ooh, no-y. So everything I just talked about, composure going into that round,
Out the window?
throw it back out the window, yes.
Bomb spotted.
Holy.
That's you can never really compute what King just did. I mean, the 2 snaps were ridiculous, and then the isolation of the 1v2 was that much sicker. Wolves started off with a fantastic foothold.
Yeah, defense, the Earls, this, again, putting on the damage early. Nades will land on a Neon. The focus through trailer also works out for first blood. 5v4. And once again, Vitality are just going to give up the B site and play the numbers advantage, stack through mid and trailer. It's odd, but they're just saying, hey, let's just play our numbers advantage and use that as our win condition.
Yeah, and it's a very good win condition. You're kind of hoping here for Neon, maybe might work a pick, but what utility is even left after the opening salvo? Wallbang shots out of Neon, not going to find much of anything whatsoever, but they are committing towards this bomb site.
Yeah, this is difficult though, because like you mentioned, there's not a lot of utility. There's still 3 trophy systems here.
Yeah.
That the defense have to work with, but what? Shing's just going to slide on and plant?
How was that even allowed?
Dude, the brass stones on this guy. Are we kidding? So now you got a post plant set up.
Oh, no.
They're trying to isolate, but Shing just has to stay hidden. He's got help deep. So here comes the play. We gotta hit something. And Shing could have do even better to find the first pick off the post plant. Now King has an opportunity to get involved. Shing is still alive off the post plant, still eventually dealt with, but it's costing time. 15 seconds on the clock. Zaya Neon playing deep. Zaya off the repinch. Will clear to make sure no one's on the defuse, and Solo's not gonna have time to get back.
What?
I could not
And then
believe
Zai
that.
gets the kill as well. I mean, egregiously sliding onto the bomb site, getting the bomb planted is one thing, but the fact that he gets out and plays the bomb for that long is ridiculous.
Correct.
The entire setup was around trailer. The fact that he was even allowed to move past the test dummies is egregious in its own self. Wolves, I can understand the confidence. You can do whatever you want.
Here we
at this
go.
point.
Smokes through mid, trophy system denying utility. Wolves aware of this potential play, and they've already shut down Marvel. Sam still staying aggressive. Solo around the back with the R9. Okay. Huge double for him. Finds it Odin on the ground, and all of a sudden, Wolves are like, oh, where do we go?
I'm just trapped inside the showers for now. It's gonna have to be a Herculean effort out of Neon just to clear more space, but just as soon as I start speaking it into existence, gets gunned in the side.
Surely not again.
I mean, you feel like that if it happened once, lightning might strike twice.
Almost. Sam's was down low. That was about as close as it could have gotten. But no, not going to happen. So a clean round this time for Vitality. And I will say, I have to give credit where credit is due. I love the fact that we're not just backing off and saying, whoa, we got 1v4, and whoa, we blew a 5v4 post plant. We're still staying aggressive. We're still keeping the trends in favor of our defense. I like that.
Yeah. Don't lose the plot.
True.
It's the last one I've happened. And I like the meat aggression with aggression itself. The nades, triple stack over towards B, don't come up with anything whatsoever besides a lot of audio cues for Wolves, and it does nothing besides just make them turn around. So when they didn't find over by B, they just immediately get over towards A, expecting the stack to come all the way through, but I think Team Vitality or Wolves have played this correctly.
Yeah, and this is the other part about Vitality's aggression. When it doesn't actually meet any contact, on their rotation back to A, their weak side on this round, you have to spend so much utility to make sure there is no plant towards A. So they're really trying to contest the early 45 seconds of these rounds. But Wolves, patient as ever, will let that all divulge, and now there's an opportunity for another post plant. King in trouble, dealt with. Numbered advantage surely goes in favor of Vitality, but they have to re-break this B site.
Yeah, they sure do. And it's currently being locked. Clean burst for Peg, expecting for the second to come all the way through. Kill starting to go in the favor of Wolves, and even though they don't have the numbers, the time is also starting to sway in their favor.
Yeah, and these are just individual challenges for Vitality. We're not coordinating these well enough. Solo just has a pistol. They need to clear out Shing. Well, now works. Marvel able to find the hit marker, and he's able to go 1 for 1. That's enough. As Solo, last one left alive, will get back for the defuse. Got a little mixy there for a 5v3, but Solo will make sure that we go 2-2.
It's a lot closer than what it should have been and what it probably should have been, but hey, this Wolves team is playing with a little bit of extra grit in this series here. You know, it would be strange to say that our previous champion would not make it to the championship bracket, but Team Vitality, again, will not be denied. Solo is up to 10 eliminations so far, something you can surely rally behind.
More aggression still underway here for the side of Vitality's defense. Solo double stacked up with Sam's inside a trailer. Support nearby. That's Marvel sniping on the barrel corner. Wolves looking to stack, and possibly they may attempt to hit trailer here. If they still have a smoke available, they may think that they've got the info, and King will actually make this even more easy just due to the fact that he connects with Solo through the wall.
It's a big kill to have for yourself. Solo has been a real issue for the Wolves in the previous few rounds. Stun start being yeeted over the top of the trailer. You'd almost have to feel like you have to commit at least a player or two just to try to clear it, but all the stuns actually shrug the rest of Vitality away.
Good smoke.
Sam's waiting for the smoke to come through, but gets dealt with.
Yeah, really good smoke from Wolves. Just blocks the trailer door. They know that for sure there's a second player inside. King on an island. Tech down low. Machine pistol out. Tech is really dealing with some damage. Help nearby, but this is taking time. So even though you're not getting a kill in the feed, you're getting a kill off the clock. And Tech eventually will now be left by his lonesome. And this whole retake attempt is just being held by King. Oh, he's got the hot hand. He wants it. He wants it. He's going to get it. The machine pistol finishes off the final 2. And Wolves will reclaim the lead 3-2 up.
This guy was born in the finesse.
I'll say.
Like a 1vx situations, teammates could be there to assist him. We're good. Machine pistol sliding downstairs. It's fine. One round lead again coming through for Wolves, just starting to deal with the adaptations that Team Vitality have thrown at them in the previous few.
Different look here for Team Vitality. A 3-man stack through tin, trying to get a bit of a smoke push over to the front side at Wood. Wolves have once again, though, gotten the read on this, and they trade it evenly to go to an early 3v3.
So I'll have one island player start moving his way all the way up through jungle. It's gonna be Marvel. Potentially trying to set himself up with a little bit of a pinch, but it's all just isolated plays. And now you're just too late if you're attack trying to push for this trade, so now you're forced into the corner.
Well,
grenade out.
Good luck, have fun here if you're Tech.
Surely.
He is stuck, and he will be found out. Those nades over the top had been seen. King finds the kill. It's a 4-2 half for Wolves. Starting to get dicey here for Vitality. Need to see something convincingly on this opening offense.
Yeah, you sure do. Again, it's just that the timings were just not in their favor for a handful of those rounds that they lost, especially in that last. So hopefully able to see things get cleaned up a little bit. And why not start off with a nice little aggressive nade heavy push over towards B.
Well, Sai, lots of damage has already been tallied. Here comes the push forward, and they do get the first blood without any trade. Neon smoked out, cannot find anything, so just getting to work on the spam. Will not connect. Follow-up nades for the offense, all thrown to the backside of the container. Defense cannot get into place to try to contest this. But as the smoke fades, Wolves say, nah, we're good. We got a sniper rifle watching your cross under the site, and we've got at least one player close in the form of Xing with the Fennec that could follow up on it.
It's just waiting for the time, and the bomb is going down from Tech. And you got the flank being watched as well. This hit is all going to be coming through from the front. This is going to be a multitude of gunfights happening in a quick succession.
Two different two-man split here. First side of Wolves, they get the first, they get the second. 2 for 1 the exchange. That is a perfect double chow coming out.
Wow.
That's textbook. It's textbook Call of Duty. Now the quick snipe not going to hit this time. Follow up from the side of Marvel. You thought was going to be good, but Neon, does he get the cross? Whoa. The hit marker is there, and he nearly saves the day. But Vitality hang on by a thread.
And those are certain situations. Team Vitality go back and they read it. And I mean, the double challenge was really good, but you were hoping for things not to be as sweaty at the end as Solo gets his 12th elimination. Aiming just a little bit higher. We'd be talking about a 5-2 scoreline, but Team Vitality bringing within 1.
And they're bringing the heat. This is a full-on blitz through the middle of the map. They've already got tin control and sandbags control. Wolves may be aware of this, though. Look at the aggression on this play around B. Whoa, we're missing the easy ones, but eventually still gets connected. Tech, a read on it. Trying to get some shots through the car. Not going to work out. He has to try to play his life while the rest of his teammates get to work on B.
Yeah, but just look at the coverage on the map. Wait. But also, you just look at the isolation as well. Tech goes back for the reach. Hal is able to clean up Zai on the backside of showers. And now, if there were the remaining few players, you're setting up a Bermuda Triangle-esque play. You got a couple players trapped in the center of it. But how much information do you truly have if you're Neon top lane?
Yeah, the thing about this is Vitality, though. Neon's up here. He at least goes 1 for 1, which is really probably good enough. But the bomb gets collected. 55 seconds on the clock. Sam's making his way forward. Lots of footsteps. That's enough for Peg to get alerted. And that's now a 2v1 situation. Tech has been a hero so far. And look at the rotational call. I think Tech may have seen one over the top through barrels. The shots are less than clean. And now you're down to 38 seconds as we reset.
I mean, do you have enough time to try to rewrap? Tech hesitates on it. He surely did. But, I mean, that's the immediate call coming through from Peg and King.
Tech behind the play. Still has time to consider either site. Wolves doing like their namesake would suggest, are going to Wolfpack it.
Gosh.
And it's chasing shadows. Tech is going to get the plant. Wolves will have to try to recontest through mid at sandbags, and this is going to take a little bit of time here. So they know, and Tech is going to get proactive. Oh my, he may catch someone, but no, they're aware of it. Trying to fight this right out in the open, not going to happen. Peg finds the kill, and Wolves will go up 5-3.
A few rounds away, getting in towards that single elimination championship bracket that starts tomorrow. Just everything felt like this perfect Cinderella story there at the end for Tech. Right behind the play, could have gotten some timing up through jungle, didn't push all the way through, got the bomb planted, but missed shots, missed opportunities. Team Vitality backs truly against the wall here. What's the response going to be? Nades over the top, just go back to the old tried and true. Try to get over towards that A site, get that trailer in your favor.
Yep, it's a full-on flood. Wolves are going to try to hold this from inside trailer. King actually does connect, and whoa, they're going to just re-pinch it, or they're at least thinking about it. changing their minds. They're waiting for the hit from the long side at B. Lots of responsibility here for Jokos. Then he's not even going to find the first, but Sam's behind it. Spamming him out on the corner, finds himself 3 in the round. Peg from the front. Timing is decent. Does he find more? Sure does. He slips away, has the reset, and now it's just down to Marvel for 1v2, trying to hold on to this backside of trailer.
This clutch would be massive. Marvel only has 2 kills through these 8 rounds thus far, but needs to ice up here.
Bomb still left over at A. And Wolves will go back to the exact same thing they did last round. Hold together. The duo will play over towards B. And then re-wrap if they have to. And that's exactly what unfolds. There's Marvel. We found him.
Look at all the time that's left on the clock, too. But per previous round said, Wolves are a pack animal. Peg and King playing back-to-back. Marvel still has so much more space he has to clear, but a whole lot of blind trust is going to start coming all the way through. Can play for the plant, but you could just tell out of Peg and King, waiting for the timing to get all the way around for the retake.
Decision time for Marvel. Where do you want to go? He wants to head back over towards trailer side. Peg and the rest of the crew are here, and they got him stuck in a corner. No chance. Wolves, again, just holding hands in the 2v1, and it's efficient as ever. Now 6-3 up on match point.
Up on match point. Team Vitality have a lot of work to do here. What was going so well from them over in CDSI the last time that these two teams have faced off against each other simply has not been found today. Not on this day, not after so many matches, so many maps of Call of Duty Mobile. We'll see what you're made of, though, Team Vitality.
Back to tried and true. Hit him hard, hit him fast. All 5 members playing over towards this backside at A. Smoke in the way at the moment. Wolves still holding inside a trailer. No finesse around the flank this time. It's just a raw fight from the front, and Wolves are winning on the trades initially. Vitality still battling back to deal with the long flank as well. So everything is now in front of just the last player. And Joko saw he had an opportunity that turned it into a 1v1, but misses the window. And now what is Wolves going to do? Team up, duo up, play the 2v1 together.
Play bottom 10, might as well force the play out of Jokos, who only has a Tundra and a .50 GS. Well, that's a good look, have fun moment if I've ever seen one. It has so much to clear with the double stack that is currently residing in bottom 10.
And he very well may run right into it. Does he check it? King holding the corner, shot hits, and Wolves will eliminate Team Vitality and punch all 3 Chinese tickets into the playoffs tomorrow.
Can't say I'm surprised with the amount of grit that we have seen out of the Chinese teams from the names that are currently residing for a lot of these rosters for the time that they did spend at CDSI and how good they all truly did look on the day. But that stings for Team Vitality. Again, this team was quite literally comprised to compete against the best teams globally and have come up short every time.
Think about the year for Solo and Tech and Marvel.
Yeah.
You move across the world. You put yourself in a region that can be more competitive with the Eastern Hemisphere.
Sure.
And to be fair, yeah, it's a tough battle with GodLike in their own region. They get a chance to play in China with CDSI. It doesn't really go their way fully, but that is just a taxing year to know what you went through, what you committed to try to get better, take another step towards a championship. They're unfortunately eliminated, commiserations out, but Wolves, they're the bigger story here. They have a chance to still defend their throne.
You know they weren't going to go out easy either, knowing that they had that added pressure on them here. And that was a well-fought battle. Wolves looked strong, prepared, and ready to kind of close out the day here. Vitality just fell a little bit short.
And they just kind of fizzled out towards the end of that hard point, especially when you go back and you look at Hacienda. I mean, it just feels so strange that trying to remember how the Hacienda hard point looked going into the third set of hard points, a 60, 70 point lead, and you had Tech drop 60 kills for the L, 250 to 231.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the search and destroy, and I wouldn't say deflated, but when you have back-to-back clutches like that, yeah, they showed a little bit of resurgence in a handful of rounds, but I mean, Wolves were so clearly the better team here today.
Yeah, 1v4 plus a 4v5 where they post-plant and they still get the bomb planted. Those are 2 very key rounds. I mean, we can be talking about overtime situations if those rounds are capitalized on Vitality's advantages, but That's the thing. Wolves and all the other Chinese teams in Search and Destroy are just different, man. And I think the thing about it is, we come from a more traditional side of the multiplayer. They're just playing good fundamental Call of Duty. Playing together, playing these 2v1s as a collective where, yeah, maybe you make mistakes, but the efficiency numbers just are so heavily in your favor. It's like playing COD Moneyball.
Wolves doing good in Search and Destroy after us talking about all of their Search and Destroy woes. It's a breath of fresh air going into tomorrow.
All right, well, we knew we had a couple matches running at the same time that we had something here going on in the main stage. Well, we have finishes for both streams B and C. We're going to take a look back at the recaps here because we had some really exciting endings. So we're going to take a look at these highlight packages and see who came out on top.
Yeah, this is a Gallerist versus 4 MV squad inter-region battle. Gallerist, the team that I think a lot of people are looking at as the favorite coming out of Latin America. Wow, okay, careful. That table was it's not as sturdy as it looks there. We see water bottles fly off that thing. Now maybe just completely super slamming teams through it, but Gallerist looking very comfortable as they clutch up the first map, and it looks like this advantage is going to be too much to overcome, although it does get to overtime.
Yeah, I mean, in between both Hen and Mihawk, you feel like that table might not exist for much longer, but it seemed that at least things were evened up ever so slightly. A very competitive matchup, at least for the region is concerned. We talked about how unfortunate it would be that the region team kill would end up coming through for qualification, but all bets are off the table. We want to see LATAM succeed, but there can only be one.
Well, the rest of the action that's still going on, you can catch, of course, on streams B and C. It's been a long day for all of our players, so talk to me a little bit. We've made it through the Swiss bracket stage, obviously the final moments finishing on the other streams, but 99% done, day number 1. We know who's majority going to be in our bracket stage of the competition. 8 teams eliminated here today. That's a lot, cutting the competitive field in half in 1 day of competition. So give me your final thoughts.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay. I generally am very happy to be able to see that Garena does have that consistency. That was probably my biggest storyline coming into this, away from CDSI, that Elevate did, in fact, at least have that lower bracket, that cushion, but how consistent they were in between then and now. Truly just excited to be able to see how high that skill ceiling for Garena can go. Yeah,
X-Rock getting their get back as well, kind of reaffirming that they are the #1 seed. They clean up their entire group stage without really any sweat whatsoever. So those two squads, Elevate and X-Rock, of course, your CDSI grand finalist, they have a chance to come into tomorrow's bracket as the #1 and #2 seeds in some order, looking like the heavy-handed favorites.
Well, it's been a really, really solid day of competition. Like we said, we still have a couple more matches going on, but at the end of it all, our top 8 teams will rise to the top and have to continue on into the second day of competition. And it's not going to get any easier from here. It's only going to get harder. We talked about it at the beginning of today. You'll have those teams in seeded positions, like Shift was just mentioning. First place going up against 8th, so on and so forth from there. So it's going to be a tough battle from quarters into semis, and then of course into our best of 7 grand finals. So it's going to be better and better every single day here at DreamHack Atlanta. So make sure you're tuning in every single time, or checking it out live here if you're local to the area to see how it all concludes. As always, a huge thank you to Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, DHL, and the US Air Force for helping us make this whole thing possible. And a huge thank you to everyone at home and everybody here who hung out with us and watched. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the bracket stage.
Final 15 seconds. What are we watching? Hello? Tribe Gaming get completely dismantled. Yopi from the inside, though, goes completely unguarded. And Yopi almost wins the game himself.
Down, Focky's able to infiltrate scot-free. Surely not Focky. He will get traded out. The fact that Focky gets away with that is insane.
Schmidt goes solo with the equalizer his own. It's Operator, and Operator 8 versus 8. The gunfight's going down. Tribe's way.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, DHL, and the United States Air Force.
the scene. We run like a wild machine. Watch out, cause we're baring our teeth, and there ain't no in between. With fire, you're gonna get burned down to the wire. Now what did you learn? We're coming for you. You don't wanna mess with the winner. Ice so cold, make you shiver. You're looking at a cold-blooded killer. We're coming for you. It's going down. We rain on the room like a storm. Yeah, we're way too big to ignore. We'll shake and we'll rattle the floor. You know what we came here for. Play with the fire